So in last class we are talking about moment of inertia, right? And we were just trying to understand about moment of inertia. What is moment of inertia? And we know about the inertia, right? Inertia is the virtue by which any body registers any kind of change, right? And when we are talking about any rotating body, okay, right, this is a body, circular body, let's say, and this is its axis of rotation, okay, and this body is rotating about this axis, okay, with velocity omega, you can say that, and there are many particles, okay, let's say 1 2 3 4. So mass will be m1 m2 m3 m4, and the distance, that is r1. Here the distance from the axis r2, r3 and r4, the distance from the axis. So the moment of inertia is simply equal to the product of the mass of that particle and distance from the axis of rotation. इतनी बात हुई थी that I equals to m into r square. When we talk about this body, then the total moment of inertia will be equal to the sum of the product of masses of particle and their respective distance from the center of axis. That means m2 r2 square m3 r3 square plus m4 r4 square, and I equals to summation of mr square. Here you can write it like this, mi ri, where I equals to 1 to 4. यहाँ 4 तक है तो 4 लिख दिया. Otherwise, if there is n term, you can write from I equals to 1 to n. Okay. And when we talk about continuous distribution, right, there are many particles and we are talking about any continuous distribution, then this formula will change like I equals to integration of r square dm. dm will be the small element of mass, right? Now, what is the physical significance? This is a formulation by which you can find out moment of inertia, right? Now, if somebody asks what is the physical signification, how will you define the moment of inertia? So, let's talk about this. Like in linear, when we talk about linear motion, so inertia is the quality by which is the virtue by which any body registers the change, okay, and the particle which have greater mass, that means greater inertia. यही होता है ना. For the heavier body we need more external force to change its position, right? Now if we talk about a rotating body, then moment of inertia, by moment of inertia, it is registering the change in the rotational motion. Like inertia is registering the change in linear motion, the change in its position when we talk about in linear motion. Same moment of inertia is the quantity which tell us that this rotating body, how much this rotating body registers the change in its rotational motion. Is this clear? The same role which mass plays in the linear motion, that same role moment of inertia plays in the rotational motion. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, so what is the unit of moment of inertia? What is the unit of moment of inertia? You can tell me from this formula. What will be the unit of moment of inertia? Answer everyone fast. Mass and distance. What will be the unit? Am I audible to you or not? Kg will be the unit of only mass, not moment of inertia. Because this is not only dependent upon mass.
kg meter square.
Kg meter square.
Kg.
And the dimensional formula will be ml square. I told you this thing in last term. Right. Now there is one more term, important term, which is called radius of gyration. Let's see what is this. Okay. Radius of gyration. What is radius of gyration? If this is any body, right? And this is the axis of rotation. And this is some point. This will be your where all the mass is concentrated. Okay. So radius of gyration is the distance from that mass point where the mass is equal to the sum of all the masses of the particle. At this point, when we find out the moment of inertia, that moment of inertia will be equal to the sum of the moment of inertia of every particle. Like I equals to m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square plus m3 r3 square we were doing to find out the total moment of inertia of any body. So radius of gyration will be the radial distance from that mass point where all the mass of the body is concentrated. This radius of gyration is denoted by K. That means I, the total moment of inertia, m K square. Okay. So this K is denote radius of gyration. When we find out with a moment of inertia with respect to this distance, so this moment of inertia will be equal to the total moment of inertia of the body. Like इसमें अगर बहुत सारे particle हो, right? This will be the distance, this will be the distance, this will be 1, 2, 3, 4. अगर मान लिया 4 ही particle है या 5 particle है. So when you find out the I, summation of mr square, this total moment of inertia will be equal to the moment of inertia with respect to this point. And from this point, the radial distance from the axis of rotation is called radius of gyration. Here you can find out the value of radius of gyration like under root I upon m. This will be the formula. Is this clear? What is radius of gyration? Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this
I is the inertia.
yes.
M is equal to mass.
Yes, m is the total mass. Okay. It is the point where the all mass is concentrated. We can say that where all mass is concentrated. And if we find out the moment of inertia with respect to this point, that moment of inertia will be equal to the sum of the all particles moment of inertia. That is the total moment of inertia of the body. Okay. And From this point, the radial distance from the axis of rotation is called moment of inertia. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, see the relation between torque and moment of inertia. I told you something about torque. What is torque? Somebody please explain fast. Relation between torque and moment of inertia. What is torque? I told you something about torque, moment of force. What is torque?
Ma'am, applied force होता है उसमें.
Yes.
Applied force or perpendicular force.
Yes. So we can say that applied force on a body which is doing rotational motion, right? In linear motion, we are applying the force and then we are denoting by F. Okay, that is the external force. And here the torque is playing that role. And torque is moment of force. When we talk about moment of force, moment of mass, moment of momentum, that means we are doing product of that quantity with the distance from the axis of rotation. If I'm talking about moment of mass, that means m into r. R is the distance from the axis of rotation. If I'm talking about moment of force, that means F into R. If I'm talking about moment of momentum, that means P into R, P cross R. Is this clear? तो जहाँ moment की बात करेंगे, because this is here we are talking about the dynamics of rotating body. So whenever we talk about the moment, that means we are talking about the that quantity multiplied by the distance from the axis of rotation. Is this clear? Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's take there is a body. Okay, and this will be the axis of rotation. And there are many particles like n particles, and this will be the distance from the axis of rotation. Let's see, this will be this distance, this 1, 2, 3, and this is the distance, this is the distance, this will be the distance, 4, 5, n. Okay, and this axis, this body is rotating with a angular velocity omega. Okay, so here let's say that this body is moving with a constant angular acceleration. This body is moving with constant angular acceleration. Angular acceleration को किससे denote करते थे? From which letter we were denoting angular acceleration?
Alpha.
Huh?
Alpha.
Yes. So angular acceleration alpha. Okay. And what was the relation between linear acceleration and angular acceleration? एक रिलेशन था ना ए और अल्फा के बीच में, बताओ जरा. What was the relation?
Ma'am, A is equal to alpha R.
Yes. Okay. Let's take a point. So relation is A equals to alpha R. If I write for particle 1, here angular acceleration is constant, but linear acceleration is variable. Okay. So every particle has different linear acceleration a1, a2, a3. So for particle 1, I can write like this: a1 equals to alpha r1, right? Now let's try to find out force on the first particle. Force on the first particle. So F equals to m into a, right? So F1 equals to m into a1. I can write like this, and in the place of a1 I can put the value m alpha r1. Is this clear? Is this clear? m1 alpha r1. Now we know about the torque. Torque is moment of force. Moment of force means force multiplied by the distance, right? So we can write the torque for particle 1 like m alpha r1. For particle 1, mass will be m1 multiplied by the distance from axis of rotation for first particle. So tau 1, this will be the tau 1, and tau 1 will be equal to the m1 r1 square alpha. Is this step is clear? For particle 1, the linear acceleration will be a1 equals to alpha r1. Now we will find out the force. Force equals to mass into acceleration. So F1 equals to m into a1, and in the place of a1 I am putting the value of alpha r1. Now let's try to find out torque. So torque equals to moment of force. That means force multiplied by the distance by axis of rotation. So tau 1 equals to m1 alpha r1 into r1. So m1 r1 square alpha. यहाँ तक बात clear है?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now same like this we can write tau 2, that will be m2 r2 square alpha, right? Tau 3, that will be m2 r3 square alpha, and dash we can write for n particles. m1 r1 rn square and alpha. So the total torque which is applying on the body will be tau 1 plus tau 2 plus tau 3 dash tau n. Now you can put the values m1 r1 square alpha plus m2 r2 square alpha dash plus mn rn square alpha. You can take alpha as a common, right? So m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square dash plus mn rn square. Now you can see easily that m1 r1 square, this is the summation of the moment of inertia. So alpha equals to summation of m r square. Here you can write like this, and I equals to, if I'm writing like this, I equals to 1 to n, and this will be equal to the total moment of inertia. So tau equals to alpha I. This is the relation between torque and moment of inertia. Tau equals to I alpha or alpha I. Is this clear? Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Yes,
in the vector form, we can write like this. Okay. I vector cross alpha vector. This is the cross. Is this clear? Now tell me, what is the unit of torque? What is the unit of torque?
Newton meter.
हाँ बोलो.
Newton meter.
You can tell unit of torque from here also.
Ma'am, Newton meter.
Yes. This proving is clear. Now you know the relation between torque and moment of inertia. Is this proving is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now you already know about the equation of motion, है ना? वो resemble ही रहती है, उनकी proving भी resemble ही है. Provings देख लेना, वो वैसे इतनी important नहीं है. Just like हमने ये equation of motion in linear motion में derive किया था equation by the calculus method. Same, you can prove all the equation of motion by calculus method in rotational motion also. And I told you that we have to displace s by theta, v by omega, and u by omega naught, and a by alpha. बस यही put कर देना है, वो हमारी equation of motion हो जाएगी, right? Now, if we talk about kinetic energy of rotation of motion, let's see. Kinetic energy of rotational motion. What is the formula of kinetic energy in linear motion? What is the formula of kinetic energy in linear motion? Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, V is equal to RW.
I am talking about the kinetic formula of kinetic energy. क्या होता है?
Ma'am, half mv square.
Yes, half mv square, right? Okay. So here you can draw a figure like this, and there are many particles, and R1, R2, R3 will be the distance, M1, M2, Mn will be the mass. So you can make the diagram and write that theory. I'm just talking about the proving. You know the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity, right? This body is moving with the angular velocity omega, and its particle has linear velocity. So there is linear velocity and angular velocity also. So the relation between V equals to R omega, right? For one particle, I can write V1 equals to R1 omega. Now, kinetic energy for linear motion, the formula is half mv square, right? For first particle, you can write it half m1 v1 square. In the place of v1, I can put this. So half m and here r1 omega whole square. So it will be half m1 r1 square omega square. Is this step is clear? Is this step is clear? Same for second particle, I can write m1 half m2 r2 square omega square. For third particle, half m3 into r3 square omega square. And for n particle, same goes for the n particle. If we are just assuming that they are n particles, so rn square omega square. Now for the total kinetic energy, we can add just like we do in torque. So the total kinetic energy will be Ke1 plus Ke2 dash Ken. So just add half m1 r1 square omega square plus half m2 r2 square omega square dash plus half mn rn square omega square. Here you can take omega square as a common, and you can take half also common, and here m1 r1 square m2 r2 square dash plus mn rn square, right? And this is, you know, that summation of the moment of mass, the moment of inertia of every particle. So it will be the total moment of inertia. So kinetic energy of the rotating body will be equals to the half I omega square. And as I told you that moment of inertia is playing the same role which role is played by the mass in the linear motion. So in the linear motion, the formula is half mv square, and in the rotational motion, the formula is half I omega square. Is this clear? Is this clear? Now
I क्या है?
yes, anybody is saying
मैम
something?
इसमें
हाँ,
मैम I क्या है इसमें?
I moment of inertia. ये देख नहीं रहे हो? m1 r1 स्क्वायर मतलब i1 m2 r2 स्क्वायर मतलब i2 mn rn स्क्वायर मतलब in. तो ये समेशन ऑफ मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया ईच पार्टिकल हो जाएगा. दैट इज द टोटल मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया. And here total, this is the total moment of inertia. In linear motion, the formula is kinetic energy. The formula is half mv square. And in the starting of the lecture, I told you that here, just like mass in linear motion, the same role is played by the moment of inertia in rotational motion. Now you can see that how these two quantities are resembles. Okay, in linear motion the mass is directly proportional to inertia. That means mass will decide that how much resist that body shows for any kind of change, and here this moment of inertia will decide that how much resist will show by the body if we try to change the rotational motion of this body. Is this clear? Is this
Yes, ma'am.
clear? If I am audible to you, if you are able to understand, then at least reply. Now you all are connecting. Kanchan, Ariman, Pranjal, what happened? Your mic is also not working. Okay. Now what is the difference between, this is the, ये तो similarity होगी, चलो, what is the difference between the mass and moment of inertia? So here you can see that inertia is directly proportional to the mass. When we talk about the linear motion, that inertia is directly supposed to the how much quantity, how much matter is contained, right? What is the mass? But moment of inertia is not only depend upon mass. As I told you in last lecture also, moment of inertia is depend upon mass, distance from the axis of rotation, and distribution of mass. Is this clear? So this will be the difference. This will be the difference, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So these all formula are very important, like tau equals to I alpha, kinetic energy of rotational motion will be half I omega square, और कौन सा बचा है? And yes, the relation between angular momentum and moment of inertia. What will be the relation between angular momentum and moment of inertia? Okay, let's see. So we have any kind of rigid body, and that rigid body has many particles. The distance will be r1, r2, r3, and masses will be m1, m2, m3. You know this relation, right? For particle 1, we can write like this. Now, angular momentum is moment of momentum, right? Torque is moment of force. Same angular momentum is moment of momentum. So, angular momentum equals to moment of momentum. What is the formula of momentum, linear momentum? When we talk about linear